My younger brother's girlfriend is with child and demands a betrothal gift of 200,000 yuan. Otherwise, she threatens to terminate the pregnancy. I counseled my family members to be prudent as I had caught wind of some rumors. However, my grandmother was of the opinion that I intended to prevent her great-grandson from being acknowledged within the family, and even urged my father to give me a beating. Gravely injured, I succumbed to my wounds. But then, upon opening my eyes, I found myself 30 seconds prior to my attempt to persuade my family. This time, I shall watch them weep without shedding a tear. Father, give me 200,000 yuan. I wish to marry Ahi. My younger brother Lin Yuan rushed into the house. Lin Yuan, who is 20 years old this year, has received little education. Ordinarily, he takes on some odd jobs in the neighboring villages. What kind of celestial being demands a betrothal gift of 200,000 yuan? When I married your mother, the betrothal gift was merely 2,000 yuan. My father Lin Hai carried a leather bag under his arm. With the thumb of his other hand, he tapped the cigarette held between his index and middle fingers, manifesting his profound dissatisfaction. Lin Yuan, with a look of pride, exclaimed, "You're going to be a grandfather. He is carrying a son, and we should take care of them." The moment my grandmother heard it was a son, she promptly set aside the water bag in her hand. "Oh, it's my great-grandson. Ahai, quickly prepare the betrothal gift. Let's welcome her into our family." "Indeed, father. Ahi's family is quite affluent. Moreover, being the only daughter, won't all the wealth of Ahi's family ultimately belong to ours?" Lin Yuan chimed in beside him. "My father is in the waste collection business. Each time he sells a batch of goods, he can earn a substantial amount of money. He is a shrewd and calculating person. But 200,000 yuan is no trifling sum." However, upon learning that he wouldn't suffer a loss, he said, very well, very well. Father, might we consider delaying this? If her family is so wealthy, how could they possibly fancy my younger brother, who has nothing to his name?" The other day as I passed through the alley, I overheard several hooligans chatting. That he has an incredibly alluring figure. With an enchanting visage, she has charmed countless men. The conversation gradually turned more and more indecent. The old lady believed that I was trying to obstruct her great-grandson from being recognized within the family. "Oh, you heartless creature. You simply don't want me to hold a great-grandson." With a slap, my father's hand landed heavily on my face, causing a searing pain. "Hold your tongue. Why wasn't it you who was assigned to your mother when Ningjing divorced me? Had it not been for your mother threatening to divide the property if I didn't finance your education, you'd be out there, scrounging for sustenance in some obscure nook." After uttering those words, he launched several forceful kicks at my head. Ming Yuan also contributed a few kicks. That very night, I passed away and my spirit lingered above. I even overheard my father exclaim, "Good that he's gone. Now I can save some money." I derided my former self. These people had long since ceased to consider me as part of the family. From my early years, I had to shoulder all the domestic chores. In my childhood, without a washing machine at home, we would spread the clothes on the floor, sprinkle some detergent, and scrub them with a brush. In winter, my hands were afflicted with frostbite. When I requested to wash with warm water, my father retorted that it was a waste of firewood. Meanwhile, Lin Yuan could roam about with a stove filled with hot water. The water used for laundering clothes couldn't be poured out. It had to be employed to clean the chicken coop, which was replete with chicken excrement. Only after completing this daily regimen could I partake of my meal. My stomach growled with hunger. On fortunate days, I could have some egg drop soup, while Lin Yuan was unfailingly guaranteed a hard-boiled egg each day to ensure his nutrition, despite my diligent pursuit of knowledge. Despite my eagerness for learning and progress, Lin Yuan was ensured a daily hard-boiled egg for nutrition. Prior to my parents' divorce, my grandmother often reproached my mother, blaming her for squandering money on my extensive education, asserting that girls were bound to marry eventually. However, the funds for my education did not stem from my father. It was my mother who, through arduous efforts, provided for my studies. She walked a great distance daily to assist a restaurant in the town by carrying slop, painstakingly saving the money bit by bit. My grandmother contended that such money would be better set aside for Lin Yuan's future betrothal gift, aiming to offer a more substantial amount to secure a favorable marriage. She believed that a higher betrothal gift would delight the bride's family, leading them to bear more robust sons, in contrast to my mother, who in her view gave birth to me, a financial liability. I yearned to flee and find release, yet resentment consumed me. Why was I regarded as a burden? Why was my pursuit of knowledge considered a waste of resources? Overwhelmed with indignation, everything went dark before my eyes. When I reopened them, I found myself 30 seconds prior to my attempt to persuade my family. I had been reborn. This time, I intended to witness their anguish without the relief of tears. This time I resolved not to obstruct them any longer. Silently, I withdrew to my room. I was in my senior year of college. After the start of the new semester, it would be my final semester as an undergraduate. It was time to seek internships and embark on the job hunting journey. I needed to make early preparations for this crucial endeavor. Ere long, Ahi was wedded into the family. By that time, her abdomen was faintly swollen, and the household held a magnificent feast. My father, a man of great pride, having taken a daughter of a wealthy family as a daughter-in-law, yearned to broadcast the news far and wide. That night, after the guests had departed, my father, reeking of liquor, accosted me. He exclaimed, "Art thou not on the verge of graduation? Hasten to go forth and toil for money for me. This wedding hath well nigh depleted me." Seething with anger, yet I refrained from retorting, for I knew full well that any dissent would invite a severe thrashing. Daily, my grandmother was fully occupied in the kitchen, stewing and boiling various viands, lest her great-grandson should go hungry. Couldn't we hire someone to cook for me? That old woman, the food she prepares day in and day out simply doesn't suit my palate. That old hag, I doubt the cleanliness of her cooking. She can't even wash the bowls properly. Completely spoils my appetite. In the presence of Lin Yuan and her grandmother-in-law, Ahi launched into an outburst. Grandmother's face immediately darkened. "Oh, how ungrateful you are. Our family gave you such a substantial betrothal gift, and I've been waiting on you hand and foot every day." Lin Yuan, caught in the middle, felt awkward. His bravado was only shown towards me. "Darling, calm down. We'll hire someone another day. Grandma, you should really wash the bowls more carefully. Don't you know that Ahi is pregnant now?" My grandmother stood to one side, seething with pent-up anger. I, with my hands folded across my chest, leaned against the doorframe. After watching the drama, I furtively scurried over to assist her. "Grandma, look, now Lin Yuan dares to treat you like this." As expected, once he got married, he forgot about his grandma. "It's all that woman who's bewitched him." The old lady gritted her teeth, looking as if she couldn't wait to go back and give them a thrashing. "Ahi, Grandma, you'll just have to endure it for now. After all, she's carrying your great-grandson in her belly." Seeing the old lady's helpless expression, I secretly rejoiced. Ahi was no ordinary person. After marrying Lin Yuan, there were constant quarrels, small ones every 3 days and big ones every 5 days. "Mom, have you seen the keys to my truck?" My father was rummaging around in the room, sweating profusely. "Stop looking." I gave them to Lin Yuan to exchange for a car. I even added a few tens of thousands. The prenatal checkups are so far away. It's better to have a decent vehicle for transportation. We don't want to freeze my great-grandson in this weather. The old lady spoke nonchalantly. "My dear mother, without this truck, how can I sell my goods?" "Oh, how much money can you make from selling goods? Ahi's family is so rich. When she gives birth to a big, fat grandson, won't all their money eventually belong to our family? Like mother, like son." Despite her advanced age, the old lady had a clear understanding. My father didn't say anything. "How's my great-grandson doing?" the old lady asked cheerfully when she saw Lin Yuan and Ahi coming back. "Darling, tell Grandma. After all, you're the one who always reads these reports. I don't understand them at all. Everything's fine, everything's fine." A fleeting, almost imperceptible hint of something strange flashed in Ahi's eyes. "Dad, your truck is gone. Why don't you ask your in-laws for help and show you the way? It's time for me to make my move." "Oh, you little rascal. You finally got some sense and remembered to remind me." My father Lin Hai grinned. Suddenly, Ahi's expression changed drastically. "What do you mean? Is our family so destitute now that we need my father's help?" My father, looking like a wolf with its tail between its legs, said, "Isn't this for your comfort? We even sold the truck. Just talk to your father and ask him to help us get rich. I didn't expect this family to be so poor. They don't have any savings at all. All right, I'll find an opportunity to talk to my father." After saying that, Ahi went back to the room and lay down without even looking at my father, which made my father extremely angry. What a demanding wife I've married. When have I, Lin Hai, ever suffered such humiliation? And you, are you a fool? Weren't you supposed to have gone to college? How could you let them sell the means of our livelihood? My father pointed his finger at my nose and berated me. "Dad, Grandma is the head of the family. It's always right to listen to her. And didn't you just say I had some sense?" Soon the new year passed, and I returned to school to prepare for my internship. I had always kept in touch with my mother. After my mother divorced my father, she worked in the logistics department of a restaurant in Guangdong. Although her salary was not high, she could make ends meet. My mother and I had an agreement that after I graduated from college, I would earn money to make her life better. So while at school I studied desperately. Some people would sleep and watch TV in the dormitory on weekends, while I would spend the whole day in the library. When people asked me why I worked so hard, they would laugh and say that in college just passing was enough and there was no need to be so serious. After all, everyone would get the same graduation certificate and degree certificate. They perhaps would never understand how hard a flower in the mud has to struggle to poke its head out. Otherwise, it would be repeatedly run over by passing vehicles, with no hope of seeing the light. During my 4-year college life, I won the first-class scholarship for 3 consecutive years. In the eyes of the teachers, I was outstanding enough. So, the teacher recommended me to intern in a Fortune 500 company. If I performed well, I could be directly hired. During the internship, I worked conscientiously and learned a great deal from various outstanding people. Soon the internship was coming to an end. The classmates who went with me were all anxiously waiting for the list of those who would be finally retained by the company. Sister, come back quickly. Something has happened at home. Lin Yuan always called me by my full name. The way he called me this time meant he was probably at his wit's end. When I got home, I found the old lady lying in bed, unable to move and constantly muttering. Lin Yuan, how could you lie to me that the child was a boy? It turned out that he had a premature birth. After giving birth, the child was sent to the incubator, and he disappeared without a trace. Grandma, I didn't lie to you. The doctor at that clinic really said it was a son. Lin Yuan said helplessly. Why does it have to be a son? Only a son can carry on the family name. Can't a daughter bring honor to the family? Although Ahi's actions were immoral at this moment, I still felt a sense of satisfaction. The old lady was so angry that she took to her bed. Grandma, look. The one you treated like an ancestor ran away without giving you a few big fat grandsons. Do you want to cheeser me, make me die of anger? Who asked you, this good-for-nothing girl, to come back? Unexpectedly, although the old lady was lying down, she still had a strong voice when scolding. Ning Jing, how can you talk to grandma like that? Lin Yuan tugged at me. What? Didn't you say something had happened at home and asked me to come back and watch the show? Oh my goodness. What wrong have I done? Lin Yuan, you even called someone back to see me in this miserable state. I don't want to live anymore. The old lady reacted even more strongly after hearing this. Unfortunately, no one paid attention to her. After I said that, Lin Yuan and I went to the hospital. Because the child was premature and had some other symptoms, many tests were done. The child's blood type turned out to be AB. Lin Yuan, this is definitely not your child. Both you and Ahi have type B blood. How could you give birth to a child with type AB blood? Lin Yuan's eyes widened in shock, looking as if he could devour someone. What? You mean I've been cuckolded for a long time? It seems so, I replied calmly. Lin Yuan drove back home. When he saw my father just squatting in front of the old lady's bed. My dear mother, are you so happy because of your great-grandson that you're overjoyed? Turning around and seeing Lin Yuan. Quick, bring my grandson here for me to see. Dad, the child is a girl. Lin Yuan knelt down with a thud in front of my father, Lin Hai. What? My father grabbed Lin Yuan's collar with one hand and pushed him forward forcefully. I've already told the whole village that I'm going to have a grandson. How can you make me lose face like this? And you've swindled me out of so much betrothal money. My father bared his teeth, looking as if he wanted to beat Lin Yuan to death. It was time to avenge the beating I received in my previous life. Lin Yuan's father, that child is not your granddaughter either. I handed the test results I brought back from the hospital to my father. 2 people with type B blood can't give birth to a child with type AB blood. As expected, in a fit of anger, my father, Lin Hai, kicked Lin Yuan hard in the stomach several times. Oh, it's still too light. In my previous life, you kicked my head. Lin Yuan, are you a useless person? You didn't even know that someone was cuckolding you, and you were still supporting your wife and her child. My father pointed at Lin Yuan, spraying saliva as he spoke. Dad, I didn't know either. I was also deceived. Lin Yuan hugged my father's thigh and started crying. Dad, look. Lin Yuan has made grandma so angry that she's taken to her bed. I added another sentence. Useless. You go and get that betrothal money back quickly. To raise the betrothal money, grandma even took out the money for her coffin. He kicked Lin Yuan away. Now they were all at odds with each other. The next day my father and Lin Yuan went out early. No one paid attention to the old lady lying in bed. Jinger, my dear granddaughter, can you boil an egg for grandma? I was so tired yesterday. I need to replenish my strength today. Now that she needed me, I was her dear granddaughter. When she didn't, I was a good-for-nothing girl. I just ate the last egg. I'm still growing. Fine. Then let's kill a chicken and eat it today. It's more nutritious. The old lady must have hurt herself from crying. She needs to replenish her nutrition. During my entire adolescence, I was dark-skinned and thin. Lin Yuan could eat meat while I could only drink soup. Don't you remember? For the sake of your great-grandson, you killed all the chickens in the house for Ahi to eat. Now there's not even a single chicken feather left. You want a great-grandson and you want to eat chicken, right? Every word I said was meant to pierce your heart. I wanted to stab you with needles one by one, and that still wouldn't be enough to vent my hatred. In my previous life, just because I said one sentence, you thought I was ruining your good deeds and made my small body endure the punches and kicks of 2 men. Stop it. Do you want to Chisuwa, make me die of anger? Don't mention that bitch to me. You find a way to get me something to eat quickly. When being nice didn't work, she reverted to her old mean-spirited self. I brought her a bowl of water and placed it by the bedside. Here, feed me. Grandma, you're really useless. Now your coffin money is gone, and you need someone to take care of your daily needs. Do you think Dad and Lin Yuan will treat you the same way as before? I sat by the bedside and spoke word by word. I knew these 2 father-son very well. They were both people who only cared about personal gain. They used to be respectful to grandma because they didn't know how much money she had left. Now that she had nothing, they would surely abandon her. You're talking nonsense. How could they ignore me? Just wait and see. After saying that, I walked out of the house, leaving her to curse in the room. My father and Lin Yuan came back dejected. I shouted loudly outside the house. Dad, grandma said she wants to eat chicken. Eat chicken? It's good enough that there's water for her to drink now. This old hag was exactly as I expected. When there was money, she was the dear mother. When there was no money, she was the old hag. Presumably, the old lady heard this clearly in the inner room. Lin Yuan, you really have no brains. Her family has already cut off ties with Ahi, and you still told me that their money would be ours in the future. Now we have neither money nor her. Lin Yuan didn't dare to say a word. My father was so angry that he kept smoking, one cigarette after another. You go and find Ahi for me quickly. She'll have to work like a slave for us to pay back the money. Sister, please help me. Lin Yuan tugged at the corner of my clothes, looking completely at a loss. My younger brother really didn't have much sense. He had a big heart. He usually worked in the nearby villages. Couldn't he hear any rumors? As long as he paid a little attention on the streets and alleys, he wouldn't have been cuckolded without knowing. I told him which street to go to find some small-time hooligans. Maybe they could find out news about Ahi. As for why those small-time hooligans knew Ahi's whereabouts, I wouldn't say. In my previous life, I was almost beaten to death before I could even open my mouth. In this life, let this dear brother see how he got cuckolded. 5,000 yuan? You want me to take 5,000 yuan to the police station to bail you out? My father roared into the phone. On the other end of the phone was Lin Yuan. It turned out that Lin Yuan had found those small-time hooligans and then got into a fight with them, injuring them. Now the other side was demanding 5,000 yuan for a private settlement. As soon as Lin Yuan came back, my father slapped him. You tell me. You were fighting several of them alone. What's the use of just having strength? Can't you use your brain? Obviously, they're trying to extort money from you. Lin Yuan covered his swollen face. I'm not convinced. They said our family is really a waste-collecting family and that we even took in a woman like Ahi, a loose woman. Stop it. Shut up. My father held his forehead with one hand and pointed at me with the other. Lin Jing, how did you know to look for those small-time hooligans? Did you know something before? I nodded. Then why didn't you say it before? Were you mute? My father raised his hand to hit me. In my previous life I tried to stop you but you didn't give me a chance and even kicked me until I was severely injured and died. In this life it's your turn to suffer. Anticipating my father's move I dodged and said calmly, you didn't ask me. I'm just an insignificant person. It's not my place to say. Fine Ning Jing. I find that you're becoming more and more talkative. Of course I can talk. In my previous life you bullied me because I was easy to manipulate so I lost my life in vain. My father said viciously to me, Lin Jing, you just wait. I'll deal with you right away. Dad. Lin Yuan kept shouting, his voice a bit shaky. Are you a parrot? What are you trying to say? I think Grandma has stopped breathing. My father was stunned as if frozen. Dad, how about dealing with your mother first? I had long known that the old lady was on the verge of death. She couldn't even drink the water I gave her. The father-son pair only knew to go out all day looking for people to pay back the money and pick fights. No one cared about the old lady lying in bed. And I believed I had done my part. The house was filled with a thick cloud of smoke. To an outsider it might seem as if some celestial being was soaring through the clouds. After the old lady passed away, my father smoked even more furiously, one cigarette after another, enough to choke a person. My father muttered to himself, wondering why he had been so unlucky lately. He suspected he might have encountered something sinister. Suddenly he looked up at me and said, It must be you Ning Jing. You came back and brought something unclean with you. Now that he couldn't find anyone else to vent his anger on, he was taking it out on whoever was at hand. My foolish younger brother Lin Yuan chimed in. Yes, it must be her. Our family was fine before she came back. It was truly ridiculous. In this life I still hadn't been ruthless enough. I shouldn't have been soft-hearted last time and come back to see you. You people are truly hopeless. I stared at them intently. Ning Jing, you've got some nerve talking to me like that. My father once again assumed a posture as if he were going to beat me to death. But as soon as he raised his hand, he retracted it and clutched his chest, crying out in pain. Quick, take me to the hospital. As he spoke, beads of sweat the size of soybeans kept emerging from his forehead. Lin Yuan managed to rush him to the hospital just as my father was on the verge of losing his last breath, while I was sound asleep at home. The next day I received a call from Lin Yuan. Sister, come quickly. Dad is about to die. My father lay in the hospital bed, looking extremely feeble. He had experienced something similar before, but it was just due to excessive anger. Usually after some rest he would recover. I had never seen him so dispirited. Family member of Lin Hai, please come over. Considering that your father has reached the late stage of lung cancer, our suggestion is to let him recuperate at home. Surgery is no longer of much significance. After hearing what the doctor said, I understood why my father looked half dead. When we got home he said, Jinger, I'm sorry for you in the past. Can you hire a caregiver to take care of me? Your brother is so clumsy. He definitely won't be able to take care of me well. You two should quickly go out to work and earn some medical expenses to prolong my life. My father looked at me, with a glimmer of supplication in his eyes but mostly an air of entitlement. Now even when begging he was so arrogant. Suppressing my anger I thought you really have high hopes. Seeing that I didn't respond, my father's attitude did a 180-degree turn. Ning Jing, don't think I don't know you're still in touch with your mother. If you don't hire a caregiver, then ask your mother to come back and take care of me. You're daydreaming. Let me tell you, you and my mother are already divorced. My mother is living a life of luxury outside, having a great time. Unlike you, who has done so much evil that you can only wait to die. Get out of here, you bastard. I don't want to see you. Fine, I don't want to stay either. Before leaving, I said to Lin Yuan, your father is in your hands now. Lin Yuan grabbed my hand. I don't know how to take care of people. That's none of my business. I walked straight out of the door. Dad, you're not incapacitated yet. You can still walk and move around. Take care of yourself. I'm going out to work. Not far away, I saw Lin Yuan carrying a backpack and getting on the only bus in the village that led to the county town. On the day I returned to school, I received an email from the internship company announcing the list of those who had passed the assessment and been retained. As the saying goes, heaven rewards the diligent. My name Ningjing leaped into my eyes. One day, I will definitely bring my mother a better life. After officially joining the company, thanks to my previous internship experience, I handled my work with ease and soon caught the boss's attention. I was quickly promoted to supervisor. I dialed the phone, eager to tell my mother the good news. Mom, great news. The boss values me highly, and I'm already a supervisor now. Really? Congratulations, Jingjing. Mom is so happy for you. Mom, I also have something to tell you. I found a partner and we're going to get married. I want you to come and meet him. I was genuinely happy for her. After all those years of hardship, it was time for my mother to find someone to rely on. I asked my manager for leave and attended my mother's wedding. Uncle was the owner of the restaurant where my mother worked. In the early years, he had an investment failure, and his wife ran away with their child. Later, he saved some money and opened a small restaurant. As the business grew better, he hired some workers including my mother. The hardships he had endured in the early years made him see the reality clearly. Now he was living a down-to-earth life. The so-called wedding was just an occasion for Uncle to invite his relatives and friends to sit together and introduce my mother to them. Whenever someone offered a toast to my mother, Uncle would intercept it for her. It seemed that my mother had indeed found a reliable person. Mom, congratulations. Seeing how well Uncle treats you, I'm relieved. Jinger, although Mom is remarrying, I will always be your mother. If you have anything bothering you, be sure to tell Mom. Okay. Jinger, you should go home and have a look. Something big has happened in your family. One noon, I received a call from the village head. Village head, I'm not going back. Whatever it is, it has nothing to do with me. I've been kicked out. I didn't want to go back. You'd better come back. A lot of police officers have come to your house and informed our village committee that they need the family members to cooperate with the investigation. After the village head's repeated persuasion, I returned to the village that day. Coincidentally, I saw my father riding a tricycle to collect waste at the village entrance. Finally decided to come back and take care of your old man? I can tell you can't make a living outside. And did your mother starve to death? He really had a foul mouth. Even though he was on the verge of death, his words were still so mean. Oh, I forgot to tell you. My mother got married last month. Her partner is a restaurant owner. I deliberately raised my voice so that people around could hear. Everyone said my mother was lucky. After hearing this, my father felt humiliated and immediately said, "So what? She still couldn't give birth to a son. Unlike my yuan, he sends me thousands of yuan every month." He said this with a smug look on his face. "Dad, the police are here to arrest you." I pointed in the direction of our front door and shouted. This startled him. "Are you the family members of Lin Yuan? We're here mainly to understand Lin Yuan's motives." "What do you mean?" Lin Yuan is now suspected of intentional assault and is also on the run. A woman named Ah He was stabbed several times by him. She's still in a coma. I glanced at my father and whispered in his ear, "Dad, they're not here to arrest you. They're here to arrest Lin Yuan." My father immediately slumped to the ground. In the middle of the night, some rustling sounds came from the house. I groped in my bag for the anti-wolf spray in the dark. By the moonlight outside the window, I sprayed it at a dark figure. "Dad!" Along with a cry, I turned on the light. At this moment, Lin Yuan was lying on my father's bedside, rummaging through his leather bag. "Lin Yuan, you're stealing my money." After my father was woken up, he immediately kicked Lin Yuan away with his foot and tightly protected his leather bag with both hands. "Keep your voices down. I don't want to go to jail yet." Lin Yuan huddled in the corner. "Dad, give me all your money. Anyway, you don't have much time left. Help your son." "What are you saying? You're cursing me to die." My father's pupils dilated in shock when he heard Lin Yuan's words. "Yes, otherwise you'll be left without descendants." Lin Yuan suddenly stood up and walked menacingly towards my father, pouncing on the leather bag in his arms. My father was dragged and rolled off the bed. "Ningjing, are you dead? Don't you know how to help me?" My father half knelt on the ground and looked up at me. "I did help. I just called the police." I held up my phone. "Who told you to call the police?" Lin Yuan lunged at me, trying to snatch my phone. "Hands up." At this moment, the law enforcement officers had arrived, and Lin Yuan was handcuffed and taken away. Only my father and I were left in the house. "You called the police and got my son arrested. I'm going to beat you to death." My father dragged his swollen leg, which he had hurt when he fell out of bed, and walked towards me step by step. Just as his slap was about to land on me, I reached out and grabbed his hand, then pushed him hard. My father fell to the ground again. "With your current physical condition, your son doesn't care whether you live or die. And here you are, still thinking about him. But what's the use? Now you're all alone." I folded my hands across my chest and looked down at him. "Ningjing, after all that education, you're not much better off. Forgot to tell you, I'm now a supervisor in a Fortune 500 company. Well, it's no use telling you this. After all, your son doesn't have such an opportunity. So your salary must be very high. Can you use the money to bail Lin Yuan out?" My father's eyes showed a glimmer of hope. "Oh, Lin Yuan, this is a criminal offense. Do you think it's like a gangster kidnapping? By the way, here's the latest test result from the hospital for you." The hospital couldn't reach Lin Yuan, so they asked me to pick it up. I handed him the report. "I won't look. If you don't save Lin Yuan, I won't look." My father threw the report aside. Take a look, otherwise you won't know how you'll die. Lung cancer, late stage. I picked up the report, flipped to the conclusion at the end, and pointed it out in front of his eyes. Impossible, impossible. My father snatched the report and kept flipping through it. He crawled over and grabbed my trouser leg. Please, if you won't save Lin Yuan, then save me. I'm your father. Can't I have surgery now? Technology is so advanced these days. I squatted down and pried his hand off. Dad, didn't you hear what the doctor said last time? There's no hope for you. Tears and snot mixed on my father's face. His eyes rolled. Quack doctors. If it doesn't work in China, take me abroad for treatment. You work for a Fortune 500 company. You must know a lot of people. Dad, I don't have much education. I'm just a small supervisor. I can't help you. After saying this, I stood up, picked up my backpack and walked out of the house. Ning Jing, you're heartless. You're letting me die. You'll come to no good end. Hysterical shouts came from the house. A year later, I heard that my father passed away on the day Lin Yuan was released from prison. In the end, he didn't get to see his son before he died. After that, because of his criminal record, Lin Yuan had trouble finding a job everywhere. Finally, he could only ride the tricycle left by my father to collect waste. But the people in the nearby villages all knew about Lin Yuan's affair, and were reluctant to sell their waste to him. In the end, Lin Yuan had to sell the old house, take the money, and leave his hometown. He, who had been stabbed, gradually recovered after a year of treatment. Perhaps her conscience awoke, or perhaps maternal love was rekindled. She found the welfare home where the child was being raised through the hospital, and took the child back to raise. She made a living by selling tofu every day. Because of her good looks, she was called the Tofu Beauty. Her income was enough for the mother-daughter pair to make ends meet. As for me, because I helped the company expand new business with a project, within a year I was promoted to manager. During these years of working, there were no shortage of suitors around me. Especially after I was promoted to manager, more and more people offered to introduce someone to me, but I declined them all. It was almost Chinese New Year again. My colleagues were all complaining about how difficult it was to get tickets to go home, while I was preparing to travel. In my previous life, I never had the chance to see the magnificent scenery of our motherland. In this life, I won't leave any regrets. Life is short. Enjoy it while you can.